Hi everybody, this is Diana Palm, and today I wanted to talk to you about grief. You guys have sent me so many inquiries, letters, emails, messages about how long is appropriate to grieve after losing a loved one. And the answer is simple. It's different. There's no one time frame that is appropriate. It's just important that you feel what you're feeling as you're moving through the experiences of grief. There are normally 5 stages that you psychologically, emotionally, and mentally go through as you're working with the energy of grief. And I always like to teach people that after you've moved through the 5 primary stages of grief, you eventually get to the last and final phase, which is quite wonderful. It is the spirit visit phase. And this is when you recognize that you really haven't lost anybody, that your loved one is still with you, and you begin to really look at, notice, and interpret signs all around you that your loved one is still very much present and very much with you still in your life. When widows come to my spiritual grief healing program, I usually advise taking a year to really move through these changes. Many times friends and loved ones will push somebody grieving out into circulation sooner than they're ready to be there. They have not maybe processed everything and gone through the depth of emotion that it takes when moving through the experience of loss. So I like to just set up a very rough parameter. Give yourself a year. If you have lost somebody really significant, this is a meaningful time for you, which we call a soul opening experience. When your heart has been broken, when you have been devastated through loss, and when you're rediscovering your life purpose and how to put things together after losing somebody significant in your life. This may be finances, this may be where you live, this may be your friend group, how you celebrate holidays, how you structure your daily life. There are so many things that you'll be going through after losing a significant person in your life, especially if it's a spouse or a partner. So I like to say, give yourself at least a year before you're feeling ready to create space for somebody new to love. This year you should devote to yourself. You want to really get into your emotions, really make sure that you've healed anything that was left undone or unsaid with your loved one who passed. Cleaning up the mundane matters such as the finances, that's a huge task in itself. It's like a full-time job to dismantle an estate and to reorganize your life and where you're going to be stable in your next phase. Allow yourself to go through these changes without getting distracted by a lot of other stuff, things that keep you busy or well-meaning friends that want to push you out to meet people before you're in that space to do so. Give yourself that year to make the physical changes, the financial changes, and the interpersonal changes, the spiritual changes that you're absolutely going to go through. Your life will never ever be the same after you've lost a loved one. And it's intended to be this way. Sometimes we long for things to go back to the way they were and we miss what they were. But in the nature of life, they are never what they were. We will never even have the same memories with the same person had they stayed alive. So understand that your life is evolving. And even if you've lost somebody so deeply loved and so significant to you, this is part of your evolution. Your loved one never leaves you. Your loved one is still there with you. And yes, your loved one does want you to be loved. They do want somebody to come into your life to love you that you can be so excited about and love back. In fact, most of the time, your loved one in heaven, if it's a spouse or a partner, they will be determined to help you find the right next partner because they know and they can see things on the other side that you can't see. They can see who would be the ideal partner for you, who you have things in common with, or who's meant to be with you on your next phase of growth. Now, if that sounds too hard to believe right now, it's just because you're not ready. When you are ready, when you've taken care of all the mundane matters and you've done your grieving and you've healed your heart, the next step will be to create space. And when you're ready to create space, this is when you recognize that your loved one on the other side truly is helping you find your next best partner. You know, it's normal to grieve change. It's normal to grieve loss. It's normal to grieve the loss of a relationship as well. Most of the time, we only associate grief with death, but we grieve when we lose the end of a relationship, when we go through divorce, when we have a significant breakup, when we leave a job. And many people are carrying grief from moving through the pandemic, from all the life changes that they went through during this huge global shakeup and spiritual awakening. Many people grieve the life that they had before COVID and haven't quite landed on solid ground because they're still trying to find out what their life is supposed to look like after COVID. How do they put these pieces together? How do they find new employment? How do they afford living in a new home environment? And there have been so many structural changes in people's lives. We've certainly lost people during this time frame. We've lost jobs, finances, our security, a lot of the ways that we identify with who we are. And so many people are actually carrying grief from this time period. And we need to address grief the same as if it is a death, because there is a death of the life you had before, and perhaps even who you were before in your life. If this is you, be sure you check out my #1 spiritual grief healing program, where I actually work with you one-on-one for 9 weeks and spiritually clean up all these energies and help you move through the energetic spiritual energies to align you with who you're becoming now. If you've lost a spouse, a partner, or somebody really significant to you in your life, let me know how long it took you to move through the first 5 stages of grief. And what kind of lessons did you learn about yourself through this deepening of experience in your life, through your soul opening experience? What kind of strengths or character development did you get that you didn't have before the loss? I would love to know that. Write down in the comments below. The other primary question I get is, how soon does the spirit visit phase start? Do you have to move through the other 5 stages of grief before you start getting spirit visits? The answer to that is no. You'll actually begin to get spirit visits immediately after your loved one passes. When your loved one passes, they're in the spirit world. They're able to visit you in dreams. They're able to send you apparitions. They're able to send you many different significant signs and symbols that they're still with you. And it is their intention to reach you because they want to comfort you and let you know that they're okay. The spirit visit phase actually begins immediately, but you still go through the other phases. But once you've moved through denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, you will notice that your emotions will begin to smooth out. You will begin to move forward in a new way, bringing with you these new strengths and new pieces of identity that you've collected through moving through this loss and through the strengthening of healing during this grief process. And the spirit visit phase, it's with you all the way as you're going through these phases, but it's the one that stays with you forever. And this is intentional. This is to let you know that you are still loved. Your loved one is still with you. Initially, your loved one will give you signs to let you know that they made it to heaven and they want to continue that connection with you. They really want to bring you comfort and ease and help you to heal your heart. And the really amazing thing is, as you move through the grief process, no matter how long it takes you to heal, it could be much longer than a year, it could be many years. As you move through this experience, you'll notice that you continue to get spirit visits. And this is because they never leave your side. As you begin to heal and rebuild your life and create space for somebody new to come in and love you, you will still get spirit visits. In fact, you and your new partner, your new life, whatever you create will still be filled with the comfort of spirit visits. And when you get them, it's a reassurance from heaven. It's a pat on the back. It's a congratulations. It's support for you for moving forward. Sometimes people think that if they look for signs and symbols of their loved one who passed, that they're fixated or that they haven't healed. But that's absolutely not the truth. These signs are meant for you. They're from heaven. They're here to show you support and to guide you and to allow you to move forward, to help you thoroughly heal your heart, but also to go through the rest of your life with you. So many times I see one partner die many years before their spouse, and still, even if their partner is remarried, they're one of the primary spirits that comes to get them when they pass. So we continue our bonds on the other side. And it's okay and safe and healthy to do this, even when you move forward and love somebody else completely. If you'd like some help moving through this experience, be sure you check out my #1 spiritual grief healing program. And if you'd like to know more about the spirit visit phase, be sure you check out my book, Death and the Afterlife. If you like this video, be sure to give me a like down below, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. I can't wait to see you in the next video.